Hi, and welcome to another Mums at Work Slidecast. Today we're talking about how to create a return to work plan. Let's talk about the kinds of questions you need to think through when planning your return to work. Grab a pen and some paper, it's time to brainstorm. Start by asking yourself, what do you want to gain from returning to work? For example, will you return to your previous profession, or is it time to start something new? Is it an option to return to your old job, but with alternate working arrangements? If you are looking for a new job, what type of employer or organisation do you want to work for? What type of responsibilities and tasks do you want? What will motivate you, and what will fit with your family? Take time out now to think through your ideas. Now's the time to ask what is important to you. If you are returning to your same job or employer prior to maternity leave, what do you think are your employer's needs and expectations compared with your own? What needs could you compromise and negotiate? What flexible work arrangements would you consider? And what childcare arrangements will you need, and how will you source care? Finally, what can you do to prepare your family for your return to work? Now let's look at the numbers. What will the financial impact be of returning to work? A good place to start is to look at the costs associated with your return to work, such as childcare and transport. Have a go at preparing an estimated weekly budget of all your likely costs versus likely income, and then assess how does your financial situation stack up. How would reduced hours affect your pay versus childcare costs? If you're in need of some professional help, why not speak to a financial planner, an accountant, or one of the government family assistance programs? Let's get into more detail about how you spend your time. What hours and days do you want to work or need to work that will fit with your family commitments and care arrangements? How could you structure your job tasks and responsibilities to accommodate flexible work options? For example, could you job share, negotiate flexible start and finishing times, or consider what work could be done from home? Write down all the possible job options that match your needs and consider how these job options will impact you and your family. If you are looking for a new job, start the job search process by clarifying what type of job you want and updating your resume, remembering to explain your full-time parenting absence and the extracurricular activities you've participated in during this time. Once your resume is polished, register with appropriate mum-friendly job advertisers such as www.mumsatwork.com.au and recruitment agencies to help you find your ideal job. Your ability to communicate what support you need has never been more important now that you're a parent. Sometimes we can feel uncomfortable asking for help, but the working parent's journey cannot be taken alone. So, step 1, seek family support. Talk to your family about planning your return to work. Discuss what you hope to gain, what working arrangements you'd like, how you're feeling about the prospect of returning to work, the support you need, and what changes you anticipate once you've returned to work. Get their feedback and listen to their comments and suggestions. Next, seek support from others in the areas you need it most, like someone who can babysit while you meet with your employer, or if you're job hunting, so that you can attend interviews. What possible household chores could you share or outsource so you can focus your efforts on planning your return to work? Devise a plan together with your partner about what you will need to change in the household, how you can support one another, and how you can make the adjustment easier for your children. Then, review your childcare needs and options. You can choose from in-home care, government versus private daycare centres, shared care options, and more. If you visit the Mums at Work website at www.mumsatwork.com.au, we've listed more information about childcare assistance, or call the Family Assistance Office in your state. If possible, try to line up tentative care arrangements before you talk with your employer so you know what your care limitations are when you're negotiating the terms of your return. It's also helpful if your child has time to settle into their new care environment before work starts back. If you're not sure how working flexibly might work, here's some ideas for common flexible work arrangements you and your employer can consider. Permanent part-time means fixed part-time working days every week. Job share is when you split full-time job responsibilities with at least one other person so that each of you works part-time. Reduced hours sees you working core office hours only, for example, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Variable work days has you working 3 days one week and 2 days the following week. Casual, roster or shift work offers flexible days and hours. Varied work location means you can work part of your time in the office and part from home. And then there's always the option to request extra annual leave during school holidays. The key to finding the right flexible solution is to identify what work can be done at home or on certain days or at certain times, and arranging a work schedule and location around it. It's all about working smart. It's time to negotiate. In an ideal world, we would love to find the perfect job. However, as a working parent, you need to ask yourself, what are you prepared to trade off in return for other benefits? Organise a meeting and talk with your employer about realistic work arrangements, thinking about both of your needs and how it could work to your mutual advantage. Be proactive and contact your employer as early as possible to explore your options. And ask your employer to trial a flexible work arrangement for a period of time to see how things go, and then revise it as required. It's almost your first day back. How can you prepare? Plan and prioritise. Start by creating a to-do list. Identify all those things you need to get you started, like arranging all the details of your childcare, agreeing in writing your work responsibilities and flexible arrangements with your current or new employer. Consider staggering your return to work by starting on reduced days or hours to allow you and your family to get used to your new working life. Most importantly, think positively. Be organised and realistic, and don't take on too much all at once. Plan weekly activities and use a to-do list with your family to make your return to work more manageable and less overwhelming. Finally, take a break to reflect and re-energise, learning from both your positive as well as the more challenging experiences along your return to work journey.